I got a new tool! So today we are looking at the Snap-on BJP1 Master Ball and U-Joint set. Now this is a... Now if you're in the market for a ball joint puller, depending on what your intentions are, this might be a choice that you want to go with, or you know, one of the other usual suspects. But anyway, let's have a look at this. So as I usually say when I'm doing these unboxings is I'm having a first look at this, and obviously there's reasons why I picked this tool over the other usual suspects. There's the OTC, there's a few others, there's the knockoff, you can get the Hazard Fraught, the Canadian Tire if you live up in the Great White North. So basically, ball joint puller is a ball joint puller is a ball joint puller, but Snap-on actually revolutionized what it is that pulls ball joints. And well, let's just have a look at this. And one thing to note, this is an all-encompassing kit. There's only a few other bits that we'll get to that don't come with this, but usually if you just get the puller set, you're just getting the puller. There are other master kits, and typically a master kit would be a lot larger than this. So, well, let's just have a look at why that is. So, opening it up, again, another nice blow mold case with the let everybody know in the shop where you do your tool purchases. For me, not a big deal. I don't like to advertise that kind of stuff. In fact, I only buy Snap-on when it's necessary. When they make something that stands way out from the rest, then I'll purchase the Snap-on. But for a lot of times, you can get tools that you don't need the really expensive stuff. Get the expensive stuff when there's a reason why it's expensive. So anyway, let's have a look. So what's different from this set as opposed to your average ball joint puller? I wish I had another C-clamp from another ball joint puller to show you guys, but this actually is considerably different. One thing to note is, well, if you've seen any, like the OTC kit, it's the same C-clamp as every other one. I think, I can't remember some of the other companies, but there are a lot of people that make essentially the same set as all the rest. This stands out. And one of the noteworthy things right off the bat is this here grease fitting. You can actually grease the threads. It creates, well, you have essentially less friction when you're running your impact gun down this. So it puts more of the impact into the cups that you're actually trying to remove the ball joint or press out a U-joint with this thing. So that is very noteworthy right off the bat. The other thing that really was a selling feature for me was in each of these cups, there's a little tiny C-clip, and that actually engages with the C-clamp and holds it in place. Wow! This is actually something that, why has nobody else thought of this beforehand? But if you've ever worked with a ball joint press, you need more than two hands to do the job. They've actually engineered this thing to the point where you can clip these things on, and this is the other part. Sometimes when you're doing a ball joint, you set it up, and then the screw's in the way. The screw's knocking up against the rest of the automobile, and they've set this up so you can configure it either which way. And the way they made this work is the throat of this is actually wider than your standard one. A little tiny feature that's nice about this is it has this channel here that doesn't go with the rest of the casting, and the purpose of that is so you can clamp it in a vise and work on the bench, which is good for U joints, not really much for ball joints, but it has that feature. It's great. They claim that this has far less deflection than your standard puller. I just got it, so I can't really attest to that, but it does look pretty skookum. It is that's a honkin' piece. It's got quite the heft to it. And yeah, I've got to say, this comparably to other kits, fantastic. This may be a little nitpicky thing for me, is it fits in the blow mold case without running the screw down first. Sometimes you forget, and then you go to put it in, and then I gotta screw it back down before it fits in the. Not a problem. Not a problem with this setup. So you have all your cups that you will probably ever need, except for very few exceptions to this. And that would be these extra cups that I purchased to go along with this kit. Now this cup setup is for particular Dodge trucks. I work a lot on front ends of Chrysler products, so bought that, put that in the kit. This here is a particular one that works with Honda and Acuras. You run into this a lot less, but when you need it, you need it. And so I definitely thought I should pick this up and put this in the kit. There are a few other ones that are for some real oddball cars and trucks. I went through the list. I saw the ones that were available there, said I don't see much of that. So I didn't purchase those. A lot of times you can get away with using the ones that you have. It might not be the best configuration, but you can get the job done. As far as that goes, you may end up damaging the parts. I also got this big cup that doesn't fit in the kit, so this will end up sitting in a drawer somewhere. But this is for the big 3500 Dodge trucks. Those ball joints are big mothers, and this will take them out. So you guys watching this, I'm sure you know how a ball joint puller works, and I don't need to go over all the little ins and outs of how you use this. What am I missing here? This is convenient. You have this guy that goes in here, slips in, and if you're working on U joints, you have this guy that also slips in here. It's got a very good positive contact, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna flop all over the place, which is really nice for me, because you know, you can hold it with one hand and it's not gonna stuff's not gonna go flying every which place. What's really nice as well is if you don't have a lot of space to work and the cups are too far away from each other. Say you had to use some sort of configuration where it's like this, and you've got to run a big long distance, you can actually put on an extender and extend that. And look, I'm holding it with one hand, so I can put it in place. I can definitely put it right in the spot and get to work. And I'm not fumbling around with everything there. So it may sound trivial to some people, but having these options in this kit was definitely a huge selling feature for me when looking for my own ball joint set. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do you need a ball joint set? You work at a shop, they have one there. And yes, that is the case. There are actually a couple of ball joint sets at the shop that I work at, and they work just fine. minus all the complaints that I just said that were alleviated with this kit here. Just, you know, the convenience of having them clip into place and be able to hold it with one hand. That is really nice. But yeah, it's a bit of a, like, the Ferrari or the Bentley, you know, it's a luxury thing to have this set. Apart from that, when you have the shop tools, I actually talked about this in a conversation that I had in another video. I was talking with the Flat Rate Master, and we were talking about shop tools and the difference between owning your own tools that may be considered shop tools. Well, shop tools get seshed. They will get sessioned, and people just care less about stuff that they don't have ownership over. I don't know what drives that. I definitely care more for stuff that's not mine, because if I have to pay for it, I want to have it for myself instead of just repairing it for somebody else. So one of the things for me was, you know, you just get tired of getting into the set at the shop, and there's parts missing or broken, and you gotta stop. You gotta stop what you're doing and replace those bits before you can continue. It's annoying. I've got this now in my toolbox. It's mine. Yay! And it'll always stay as good as I keep it. So I plan on taking very good care of this thing, and hopefully it lasts me a long time. I'm hoping that, oh, here's one other thing. This here is the part number. So if you guys have this set, this is the part number for the little clips inside, which will break, I'm sure. So yeah, hang on to that part number, because you will probably have to replace those as they wear down. Other than that, I gotta say, I'm impressed with this kit. It cost me a pretty penny. So if you're the DIYer and you just need like a ball joint kit, this is probably not the kind of thing that you want to invest into. But if you're doing it every single day and you run into some really stubborn ones, this one, their claim is that it can actually run ball joints out of even the most stubborn ones very easily, and that has to do with, well, like I showed, the greasable fitting. So it takes a lot of that torque out of the friction in the threads, and it puts it right to work. And if there's less deflection in that C-clamp, then, well, you have that too, because then, you know, you're not limiting the torque that you're actually putting into the workpiece. So I picked that up with the hopes that it will be everything that they claim. Well, I'm just going to run the tests on that. I'm going to review this again probably in about a year or so, depending on how much I use it and how much, you know, I end up putting it to work. And then I'll go over it again, and I'll tell you guys honestly what I think of it. It's already mine. It's already in the toolbox, so I've got nothing to lose with, you know, telling you exactly how it is. So anyway, guys, if you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit that like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.